Hi, I am Mary Jane Arcelia and I will be presenting to you a proposed redesign of the annual physical examination process of a service organization. In this digital era, organizations still consider their employees as their most valuable asset. Organizations take care of their employees in various ways to ensure their well being, satisfaction, and productivity. One such organization known for ensuring the health and well being of its employees is United Service Delivery, or USD. USD, a service oriented organization with more than 5,000 employees, has been holding annual physical examinations, or APE, for its employees for several years. The APE is handled by its Health Services Unit, or HSU. Each year, employees are given the option to undergo their APE either on-site through a partnership with a healthcare provider or at any branch of the provider's affiliated clinics of their choice. In its week-long implementation in January 2024, the process generally went on smoothly on the first day. However, there were pain points in some parts of the process in the next 3 days that could possibly be avoided in its implementation in the succeeding years. In this research, Business Process Management, or BPM, was used as a systematic approach in order to propose process and technology improvements in USD's APE as-is process. BPM is a body of methods, models, techniques, and tools to identify, discover, analyze, redesign, execute, and monitor business processes in order to optimize their performance. Technology is often used to enable BPM. Some of these technologies include Intelligent Business Process Management Software, or iBPMS, Robotics Process Automation, or RPA, Artificial Intelligence, or AI, among others. iBPMS is a set of integrated software and applications, some of which incorporate AI features that work in collaboration to optimize business processes. iBPMS excels at quickly and accurately analyzing large volumes of data. RPA, a technology employed in automation processes, relies on software and algorithms to replicate or automate employees' actions within digital processes. It serves as a substitute for human resources in executing specific digital tasks. AI is not new and is here to stay. It is a positive force where security and controls are key. The research aims to apply the first 4 steps of the BPM lifecycle in order to propose a more effective and efficient technology-oriented to-be process for USD's APE. It also aims to identify which of the 15 process enhancement patterns, namely eliminate, replace, insert, improve, delay, pull instead of push, resequence, consolidate, individualize, decouple horizontally, decouple vertically, integrate, specialize, natural order, and optional, will be appropriate in improving the process. The proponent used the business process management lifecycle as the methodology of the research. The BPM lifecycle is a continuous cycle comprising the following phases: process identification, process discovery, process analysis, process redesign, also called process improvement, process implementation, and process monitoring. In the process identification phase, a problem is posed and the processes relevant to the problem are mapped into a process architecture. A process architecture provides an overall picture of the processes in an organization. Using the process architecture, the process that has performance measure issues is selected and is used in the remaining phases of the life cycle. The process discovery phase is where the understanding of how people do their work in an organization is done. This involves using discovery methods such as document analysis, interviews, observations, among others. This is also where process models are created. Process analysis, the third phase of the BPM life cycle, is where the identification and assessment of issues and opportunities for improvement is done. These issues are typically tightly related to the process performance metrics for time, quality, costs, and flexibility. Process redesign and the previous phase are intricately related. Process redesign, the last phase covered in this research, is the phase where improvements in the process are identified. Multiple redesign patterns were used to ensure that the problems in the as-is process are addressed by the to-be process. The last two phases in the BPM life cycle are process implementation and process monitoring. Process implementation involves two complementary facets: organizational change and process automations. The former focuses on the implementation of the to-be process, while the latter involves implementing information technology systems. Process monitoring happens as soon as the redesign process is running. Its purpose is to check if the process is meeting the performance measures, and if not, continuous improvement is done. The succeeding slides discuss how each of the first four phases of the methodology was applied and the outputs produced after each phase. The process architecture, one of the outputs of the process identification phase, shows the core, management, and supporting processes, as well as the suppliers, partners, environmental factors, and competitors of HSU. These components were identified through document and website analysis. The selected core process is the APE, which stemmed primarily from the complaints of some employees regarding the time it took to complete the process and the quality of some activities in the process. The process document that was sent by HSU to the employees via email was used to know and understand the ideal APE process. The APE process starts with the online setting of appointments through Google Forms based on the preferred date and time slot of the employees. Rescheduling is allowed provided there are still slots available. On the scheduled APE day, the employees must present their company ID, HMO card, or their appointment confirmation ticket to register. The medical activity starts with blood extraction. Details in the process document include a fasting requirement depending on age and an additional test based on age and sex. Blood extraction is followed by the submission of urine and stool specimen. Procedures for collecting the specimen and the diseases that can be detected from urinalysis and stool examination were provided. According to the procedural document, it is permissible to submit the specimen at a later time. The next activity is physical examination, which involves 3 steps: vital signs, the actual physical examination, and chest X-ray and breast ultrasound. The vital signs step is where the height and weight are measured and the blood pressure and visual acuity are checked. The physical examination step is where the doctor extracts the medical history of the employees, examines the whole body, and performs a pap smear test for females, a rectal examination, and an electrocardiogram. The chest x-ray and breast ultrasound for females are the last steps. However, interviews reveal that only chest x-ray was performed. The dental assessment was not documented in the APE process, yet interviews revealed that dental examinations were indeed conducted. A memo was released to the employees to provide more details about the APE. A portion of the memo stated that there will be enough blood extraction and head-to-toe foot examination schedules for the entire duration of the APE. It also stated that, on the average, the complete APE process will only take about 1 hour, and the soft and hard copies of the results will be released after 6 weeks. The researcher used cause and effect analysis as depicted in the Ishikawa diagram to pinpoint the issue. Through analysis of the process document and conducting interviews and observations, the primary issue identified is the extended queues and waiting periods within the APE process. This challenge correlates with HSU's performance metrics concerning cycle time, waiting time, and quality. The use of Google Forms to set a schedule was deemed effective so that HSU may manually control the number of employees per slot. However, when a transport strike occurred on the second day of the APE and work was suspended, those who were scheduled on the second day simply rescheduled using the online form or just walked in on any of the remaining days of the APE. There was no formal communication from the HSU as to how the schedule will be adjusted. This caused long queues and waiting times, especially for those who were scheduled on the third and fourth day. There were 2 lanes for registration, one for regular employees and one for VIPs. The registration became time-consuming because the same information that has been encoded in the Google form were asked to be entered again. This redundant activity caused the start of the buildup of employees. The person manning the registration did not check whether the employee has a schedule and if it is the right one. There was no control on the number of walk-ins that were being allowed to register. Upon registration, a medical examination form was given to the employees. There were no instructions given regarding what to do with the form. Apparently, they were supposed to write their personal information and then sign on the form after every medical and dental activity has been accomplished. The medical staff, on the other hand, puts the date or writes waived if the employees refuse to do a specific test. After the registration, employees were asked to fall in line for blood extraction. There were no distinct queues for individuals fasting and those not fasting. Furthermore, there were only 2 medical staff in charge of the blood extraction who were not very efficient and effective at doing their jobs. This resulted in inconvenience for many employees as they had to return on another day due to excessive fasting. In the physical examination activity, the most glaring cause to the problem was the lack of electrocardiogram or ECG machines. Only 1 ECG was used, which again caused the employees to wait longer. Finally, in the dental activity, interviews revealed that there was also a long queue and the medical staff did not fill up their forms. The 1-hour theoretical time given by the HSU took up to 5 hours. Most of the activities were done in an efficient manner, taking up only a few minutes. Much of the time was weighted on non-value-adding tasks of queuing and waiting. Using cycle time efficiency to address the issue of cycle time, the formula cycle time efficiency equals theoretical cycle time divided by cycle time where the theoretical cycle time is 1 hour and the cycle time is 5 hours, yields a cycle time efficiency of 0.2. This means that there is a significant amount of room for improving cycle time by reducing the waiting time. In order to address the problem discussed in the previous section, the following process improvement patterns may be used: eliminate, improve, replace, insert, and decouple. In the appointment activity, the use of Google Forms may be eliminated and replaced with a scheduling system. This scheduling system should eliminate walk-ins and allow rescheduling of time slots. It should prompt HSU if the number of initial slots have been filled so that they can open additional slots. In the registration activity, the appropriate pattern is improve. Technology may be maximized by integrating ID scanning to confirm the employee's schedule and a personalized QR code generation which will be scanned by the medical staff and replace the manual medical form with a digital form. An automated queuing system may remove the redundant pre-registration and registration activities. The queuing system should be able to decouple the activities for those who fasted and those who did not. Similar to queuing systems used in hospitals, it should be able to prioritize the employees based on certain criteria. For example, senior citizens versus non-seniors, fasting versus non-fasting, with appointment versus walk-in. The blood extraction activity has a lot of room for improvement. Additional and more competent medical staff may be requested in order to remove this major bottleneck in the APE process. The previously mentioned queuing system may go hand in hand with this solution. While these solutions may be of help, having an iBPMS would not just solve the problem, but also run the end-to-end process more effectively and efficiently. While the HSU has been continuously improving its APE process over the past years, there were still lapses in its implementation in 2024. They were not able to anticipate the influx of people on the last 3 days of the APE caused by the transport strike. They allowed a limited number of walk-ins and did not follow the appointment schedule. Future works may feature an iBPMS with a more sophisticated AI, not just for the APE, but for the other processes of HSU as well. Thank you for listening. For questions, future works, or collaborations, you may reach me at the email address indicated in the slide.